Hello, welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Lauren. I'm going to do a live stream message for all you Virgos out there. Know that energy is fluid, so roles can be reversed. You may have to flip it, switch it, twist it, interpret the message as it best resonates for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Anything that you need to know about the channel, you can find in the description box. And if you're interested in entering into winning a free psychic reading with me, all you need to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and today's magic word is going to be fear. You're going to write the word fear in your comment bar. Now you may say, well, why would you use the word fear? Well, the psychic soul healer is really what I'm known as, and I have another channel called the Psychic Soul Healer channel. So I like to look at the wounds. I like to look at the energy that's blocking you from manifesting the perfect relationship. I like to look at what's blocking you in your relationships, as well as what's blocking you from abundance of any type, whether that's financial abundance, whether that's emotional abundance. Wherever we are cut off from love is what the shadow represents. So I like to look at the shadow because your situation's going to change, and depending on the knowledge that you know will allow you to apply new information to get a different result. Again, it's all about integrating soul wounds, turning soul wounds and making them into spiritual gifts. So if we have a chance to shape shift a situation to turn it into a better situation for ourselves, wouldn't you want to do that? Of course you would. Wouldn't you want to avoid um, issues and problems within your relationships or problems for yourself within work? Of course you would. So knowing what your spiritual blocks allows you to navigate your life in a way that you're gonna get the best results for yourself. That's why. Again, you are the creator of your life. Even when you don't like what you're creating. It's just sometimes when we're creating, we're not conscious, or we're focused on one element of a situation and not really looking at the entire situation. A lot of times when we have blocks in a certain area, like if you are someone that struggles financially, you may be someone that continually takes jobs that are not satisfying just to make money, but then you're working so many hours and you're not happy doing it. So there is this core belief of believing that money is difficult. You have to work hard for money. And maybe you watched parents do this and other people in your life do it. So it's just a known that, well, I have to go and work, and no one really wants to be at work all the time. And maybe you haven't found your true soul's purpose yet. So again, your soul's purpose is really what should lead you to your job. When we are working a job, again, you're working for someone else, and they're telling you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, opposed from you working for yourself and creating yourself. So again, money has no energy except the energy you're giving it. So if you're at work all day and someone else is telling you what to do and you're miserable, then eventually you're going to have a low self-esteem about yourself. You're going to feel like you're not worthy and you can't have, because that's what your situation is telling you. But is that reality? No, it's your reality based on your wounds, based on your life, based on your perception of who you are. So this is why we want to look at the wounds, because that's not who you are. You're made in God's image. You are a divine being. And being that you're made in God's image, you can create the life that you want to have. See, our society tends to tell us the life that we're supposed to have. And they do so by, again, putting people in categories, making people feel as if they're less than, making people feel like they need to follow the crowd. But really, the truth of the matter is, when you become yourself, you You don't follow the crowd anymore because you have a unique individuality, the same as everyone else. You are made uniquely different. So you're not supposed to follow the crowd. You can be in the world and be in the crowd without becoming a part of the crowd. You know, it's the same thing, being in the world without becoming a part of the world, so that you can contribute to the world by giving and receiving love. And again, what is the energy of money? Money has no energy. Money has energy, but money has um, no distinct energy, as in you can't put a label on it. Like, oh, if you think that money is good, then you're going to think, oh, it's going to bring me abundance and happiness and everything that I love. But if you don't love yourself, you're going to be pushing that money away. But if you're someone that doesn't think anything about money except for that money is a currency, and you have good self-worth about yourself, you're not really going to have problems obtaining money. And the reason why is because your actions and your behaviorisms are going to be in alignment with that core belief of believing that you can have. See, it's all about the beliefs. All right, enough talk. Let's see. Let's get into action and actually see what the heck is going on here. Let's look at the spiritual energy that's going on with you, Virgo. Just you. What is going on with just you? I don't want to know about anybody else. I just want to know about you. Timelessness. Reactive. Unstructured. Christ consciousness. Self-observation. Pull one more. That's crazy because I got a lot of the same cards before when I did reading past life. Okay. So the underlining spiritual energy that you're holding on to, Virgo, is that you're in a connection with a past life, karmic mate, and it's unstructured, which means it doesn't logically make sense. It's not someone that you would normally be attracted to. Things aren't going the way that you would want them to go. This person is not really predictable, and they don't really feel like you're predictable. So if you haven't dated this person, then they're basing everything on their past relationships, which this is why you would be kind of like a mystery to them and make them feel a little uncomfortable, because this person likes to have the upper hand, where I feel like you also like to have the upper hand, and they're the sense that they're unpredictable as well. And the fact that sometimes they're nice, sometimes they care, sometimes they act like they want a relationship, other times they act like they don't. So they seem to be a little bit all over the place. And it's very triggering. It's very triggering. And I feel like your person reacted. They reacted because they got, again, triggered. And that made them look at themselves as well as look at the relationship. And they really wouldn't want to deal with this. But the relationship is, again, a past life soulmate. It's the unconditional love there. It's transcends time and space. You can't break this. You can't manipulate this. You can't crush it. You can't ignore it. You can't. And that's what they're realizing. because they've used to being able to like walk away from relationships, have the upper hand, breadcrumb, have one foot in, have one foot out, not really invest, not really care, but they can't because this is again a past life soulmate twin flame relationship that is helping, that is a divine connection that's supposed to help both of you evolve into higher states of consciousness. So it's almost like I feel as if your person was reactive and where they did something mean and they expected you to chase after them and you didn't do that. And they normally wouldn't care. They normally would have just walked away, but they realize that they can't. They have strong feelings. They realize that this relationship is a lot more meaningful than they gave it credit. They underestimated you. I don't think that they ever gave you enough time to to really see whether or not they liked you or not. They perceived who you were from just again outside things, from what they perceived, which is kind of really unfair because I feel like they dumped you in the category along with a lot of other people that were not on the same energy vibration. And this is what they're realizing. Ooh, that's bad. I want to pull a few moments from my deck. Okay, invincibility. Yeah, this person really feels like this relationship can stand the test of time. That it's like, I feel like you guys have gone through a lot of ups and downs because you both have very strong personalities in the fact of being the main person in your home. So whatever relationship you have ever been in before, you've been kind of the person that led the way. I don't want to say that the relationship wasn't equal in any of your relationships, but I feel like what you said, you had the final word. You were the stronger person in the relationship. So your person, all other people that you dated would go along with what you wanted. And I feel like for this person, it's the same thing, that they always, again, dated people that would just follow them, do what they wanted to do. And mainly because both your lives look good. Both of you look like you're very strong within business. So because of this, whoever you're with usually it doesn't feel as secure within, you know, their finances, within their stability. So this is why they let, you've always had the upper hand, they've always had the upper hand. So you have this in common. So the strong personalities and also being in full control of your household, where I'm not saying that you never compromised, but it's again, you would get your person to sway to your way and vice versa. And it was always kind of known. You're always with people that would go along with it. So again, this is not a connection with this person that you would volunteer to go into if you knew their personality, because no one wants to be in a relationship with themselves, because that's what it would feel like, just for the record. And so there's separation right now. And there's separation because, again, it's a lot of self-observation from you and your person, to be honest with you. I feel like they're in a dark night of the soul because they were reactive. They expected you to respond in a certain way, and you didn't. But I also believe that this person has been living way too comfortably, meaning they never having to like give in a relationship and letting everyone give to them, never really bending, never really, they've had it easy in that. Relationships are not that. Where I feel like, again, their relationships have been surface because if your person is always afraid to communicate, to set boundaries, and always goes along with what you want because this is the way that you play, again, where they're reactive if you don't do what they want, and they again will punish you, and punish you by ghosting you, not talking to you, because again they expected you to act a certain way. It was a smack across their face that you didn't, in their eyes, again. And so now they're sad, but I feel like there's a lot of things in their life, not just relationship, just a lot of things in their life that, because they live so safe and they're kind of shallow, and and understand they're shallow because they want everything their way. They don't compromise. If we have a closed heart, then and we go into relationships just to see what we can get, and it's just surface, like, I like what you look like, and yeah, you're making me feel good, then that's, after a while, the person that we're with, you have to realize that that's not going to be a genuine person, because no one's going to go along with that. So again, the uncomfortability that you're making your person deal with is the fact that you're a real person and you're standing your ground, and you're not going to yes them to death, and you're not going to do whatever the hell that they want you to do. Then you want an equal relationship. It's a very uncomfortable relationship. Of course it is. It's a past life relationship. It's forcing you to evolve into the highest state of consciousness of unconditional love. And so what happens? Well, it triggers us. It triggers us. It triggers us because it's making us change. We don't realize that it's a shadow. We don't realize that we've overcompensated within our behaviorisms to be safe, where your person has all the eggs in his or her basket. And they're like, in order for me to feel like you really love me, you have to bend to me. And that always works for me, because I always get that, because that's always what's happened. And so it's, again, when you left, I feel like a lot of other things in your person's life fell apart. And that's why they're in the dark night of the soul. So you are part of the collapsing that is happening, the tower moments in their life. You're part of the tower moment. And it just so happens, because everything is falling apart at the same time, they're like, it's almost benefiting you. And it's benefiting you because they're thinking about you more. They're actually looking at their behavior, because everything else in their life is crumbling, and what's really left is the fact that they still have this connection to you that they don't really want to have, because it's a hard connection. And it's making them look at themselves. They don't want to do this, but what they're seeing is, it's timeless. It's a timeless connection. We know when we're in a past life, because a person automatically, as soon as we meet them, they just feel like home. They feel familiar. There's a sense like we know what they're going to do. We know how they're going to act. Even if we don't know them, we know them. We remember them. We remember their essence. So there's always a sense like that when we have this deep love for a person, that we feel like they're going to act a certain way. And a lot of times they don't act that way. It's, again, the unstructured is the unpredictability of, I'm so connected to you and I'm really up close because I have such a strong emotional bond. However, the unstructured, not predictability, makes both of you really reactive. Only this person reacted, and they reacted from a place of fear. And so that had to happen. And it had to happen to teach unconditional love. Because now the person's in dark night of the soul, looking at their life, everything in their life. And it all started with the collapse of this relationship, and looking at their life and saying, well, this doesn't work in my life, and this doesn't work in my life, and I don't really like my life. And because I don't like my life, because I don't like what has manifested in my life, and what has manifested is a result of surface and not really genuine connections. And so when that happens, it's not built on stability, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a business, whether that's again everywhere in our life. If it's not built on solid ground, eventually there's going to get have a crack in the foundation, and everything's going to fall apart. And so your person's in a dark night of the soul right now, so that they can actually evolve into this Christ consciousness. But it started because, again, the self observation and the fact that there is still this connection is freaking your person out, because they're like, they've never experienced anything so deep. But that's because there's a purpose for it. So let's look and just see. I want to just look in. I'm going to use my moon deck. Be bold and make the first move. I feel like they wanted you to make the first move. And they know that you're not going to budge. You're not moving. I feel like they waited a long time. I feel like you've been in separation with this person a long time. I feel like they've processed this a long time. I feel like they thought about it a long time. And partially it's because, well, they didn't want to have to make the first move, because they actually think the person that makes the first move is a weaker person, when that's not really true. And they also don't want to show how much they care. So that's the issue. They have a block there. And what they're now, because they waited so long and they played so many games, they're going to have to make the first move. They're going to have to show vulnerability. They're going to have to surrender their ego a little bit. So that's saying they're going to have to make it. But will they? Who knows? We'll see. Work through your fear. So it's, again, they have a lot of fear around this, because, again, they have intimacy issues. I feel like your person was raised by somebody that was never let them show their emotions. They were almost taught, like, if they were a boy, like, be a big boy, don't show your feelings. If you were a little girl, big girls don't cry, like big, so they were shamed almost into expressing who they are. And they also never felt comfortable to ask for what they needed in their environment. So they have a real, like, block within their throat chakra. And so part of them, like, being reactive, was they got mad, but they were hoping that when they got mad and walked away, that you would chase after them. And really now they're embarrassed because you didn't do that. A personal issue reaches resolution. So I do feel like eventually whatever is going on in their life gets resolved. And once that gets resolved, I feel like they're going to want to reach out, because this will be what's left. I feel like they waited for everything else to get done in hopes that you would come back during that time. And what they see is that you're not. And I feel like they have a lot of anxiety about that now as well. It's time to release negativity. That's what I'm saying. It's like they're getting nervous, because they're, like, realizing that they're holding on to this animosity and anger because you really haven't come back. But it's just anxiety, because they care a lot. They don't want to lose, but you're making them change. You're making them do something that they don't want to do. So they're not going to be happy about doing it. Remember, God brings people into our life to heal, to change. We get what we need, not necessarily what we want. So it doesn't mean that you're not attracted to that person and you don't want them. A lot of times it means the person that you want isn't treating you the way that you want. And the reason why is because it's triggering. And it's triggering because it's forcing us to heal. Like, if we didn't care and weren't hot for the person, didn't have feelings for the person, we wouldn't give a shit. So this person realizes they give a shit. They realize it's an important relationship. They're going through a dark night of soul, which when we go through a dark night of soul is because now we're looking at ourselves and what we're seeing is we don't like the choices that we've made. But if we're never coming from our true sense of self because we're too afraid that people are going to hurt us and we're just superficial, we're only going to attract superficial people. So, like I said, they were doing that because they're insecure. They still need to heal the root cause of that insecurity, which is the fact that they can't communicate. So that's why this happened because we can't ask for what we need and we're not setting appropriate boundaries, we'll never get what we want. Can't assume. So your person doesn't ask, but they try to manipulate to try and get you to give them what, what they want because they know that it's a strong connection. They can feel the connection. It's not that they couldn't, but I think that they underestimated like what it would be to try and walk away from this type of connection. Because if you're a surface person and you never had a deep connection like this, and it didn't mean that they never like had a deep relationship, but a soulmate twin flame relationship is one that is like it's so hard. And it's hard because it's going to make you heal. It doesn't logically make sense. It doesn't might not even look good on paper. It like everything is different. So you might be dealing with a person that number one thinks different than you. Then number two, their culture is different. Number three, what they like to do in their spare time and their hobbies and their interests different. So everything is different. So you're almost learning a new language. So when you are attracting someone that is your exact opposite, that you are hot for, and they're hot for you, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of fire. That fire is the element that is going to transmute the deepest, darkest wounds that you both have. So this is a divine union. But being that you are on a higher vibration than they are, they need to rise to your vibration. The way that they would do that is by humbling themselves. But they would have to, again, become vulnerable. And they don't like to do that. They don't like to seem weak. Again, it's a mask that they wear. But it makes them look like an asshole, to be honest with you, because they're overcompensating. It's like a person that likes you but doesn't want to show that they like you, so they'll never clap for you. They'll never acknowledge anything. They're gonna go overboard to prove that they don't like you. They're not gonna give you anything. And now that's what they realize. Now, oh, I didn't give you anything. Now I actually have to come back and do everything that I didn't want to do, that I didn't do. So there's also a little bit of anger, like I said, because it's like, I don't really feel like I should have to do that. I don't really want to do that. Why do I have to do that? Why are you making it so difficult? Like what happens when you have a lot of, when you have wounds, your ego is gonna be, saying that it shouldn't look the way that it looks. But the truth of the matter is, it's going to look unstructured because, again, healing, if there's no straight path to healing, it's not going to look the way that it should look. Which, understand, you're learning unconditional love, which part of to learn that is you have to surrender and let go of how you think that it should be. I want to look at the hidden truth. I want to feel that way again. So it's again in separation, they can feel that you're not around. So, they also feel like you've taken your love away from them a little bit. So they can still feel the connection, but they feel like it's different. And it is until they fix it. It's like you don't break unconditional love. It's always there. However, you're not giving, you're not showing it, you're not showing that you care, and they can feel that, and they don't like that. But hey, that's what it was. It was like you're used to doing that and getting that from all your little followers out there, It's like, I'm not satisfied with your little followers because I'm not the same thing. I feel you leaving me behind. Yeah, so they're starting to get a lot of anxiety because they're sitting on this for a long time, mainly out of pride, leaving you out in the cold. Pride, like everything else needed to take care of. They had other things in their life to take care of. They didn't tell you. They kept you on the back burner, and you didn't come and fix it. So again, now they allowed so much time to like that gone by that they, know that they're going to hear it. So they have anxiety about that. And, just anxiety about the future of what they 100% want. Because even though they have feelings for you, they're used to living a certain way, again, non committal. And though they know that this would be more fulfilling, they don't know whether they can live up to your standard, to be honest with you, because you're going to want, a partner. And what this person shows is that they don't really know how to do that. Because the moment that you try to work through something, they were reactive. I want to be more than friends. See, and then it's like they want to be more than friends. So they're going to try and come back and be friends first. But the problem is they know that if they come in like a friend, that most likely that's how you're going to keep it. And they want to be more than friends because this is a past life connection. Of course, they want to be more than friends. It's a soulmate twin flame relationship. There's a lot of passion here, though your person is still trying to play it safe. And I think that might trigger you, where you're going to be like, I don't really need to be your friend. You speak to me through music, so you're always on their mind. It's getting harder and harder and harder because they can feel, again, a lot of time has passed, and that you're most likely going to move on. Why wouldn't you? If they didn't give you anything and they're still not giving you anything, well, so who it's really bothering is them. I don't really see it bothering you, Virgo. I don't react when people mention you. Yeah, because this person is still like really not emotionally intelligent, and they, God forbid, would say, "Oh yeah, I used to have feelings for Virgo," and then meet you, and then guess what? As soon as they get together with you and sit down for lunch or whatever, like you would be like, "I'm not interested," or you might call up, you wouldn't even get to lunch. They would just be like, "I'm not interested." I feel like they feel like you would be diplomatic because there's a sense that maybe something with your job, that you're like that you're a counselor. Some of you guys are counselors. Some of you guys are really good with like working with people. So there's a sense that they feel like they can talk to you, so that you would listen to them, but that they would be devastated if you didn't want to be with them, and then completely devastated if everyone knew that they liked you and you didn't like them. Again, that would shatter their ego 100%. And the thing that I don't like about this person is they're still concerned about their pride. They're still concerned about that. So that's a problem, because when we go through a dark night of the soul, like our pride and everything's supposed to come down. So I do feel like they care, and I do feel like they're going to reach out, but there's still a sense of they're going to hide everything from everybody until they know that you, Virgo, are going to be with them in that way. Otherwise, they're never going to tell anyone anything ever. And they probably go back to the way that they were before, very surface, just, being very non-committal. The fact that they're even thinking about being a committed relationship is shocking them. Just so that you know. I'm battling inner demons. Yeah, this person is fighting. Do I want to be like single, or to like live that single like bachelor type person that dates 1,000 people at one time, or do I want this committed relationship? Can I do it? Will you be satisfied? Again, this person down deep inside doesn't really feel like they would be successful in a relationship. I feel like that happens a lot of times when we grow up in an environment where we saw a bad relationship. So I feel like your person grew up in an environment that they didn't feel was a safe and loving relationship between mom and dad. It was a lot of turbulence. So they don't know what that looks like. They don't know. And they like it better that they have freedom. I have unwittingly sabotaged our connection. So they know that they like sabotage this relationship. And they're feeling like, again, it's getting to them because they didn't really want to do that. They just didn't want the relationship as deep as you wanted it. But I don't believe that you have surface relationship. I run away to avoid facing my problem. And this is what they did. When I said they procrastinated this whole freaking time, it's like you were the last thing they were expecting. Like, I'll wait, you'll come back. You'll be the one that comes to me. You didn't. And now they're like, now you're gonna leave me behind. Now I have to. I am filled with regret. But I believe that regret is what gets them to move their ass, to be honest with you. Because they actually realize that the importance of the relationship where they didn't before. You don't know what you got till it's gone. You bring out the best in me. I'm a better partner because of you. I think, again, you bring out the best in them, that they feel that they could be a good partner to you. If you've never been together before. For those of you that have been together before, this person knows that you're a good person, knows that you would bring out the best in them, knows that you do bring out the best in them. But again, they sabotage the relationship because of fear. But I feel like for those of you that have never been with this person before, they just, again, they want to cherish you. They do. It's just they hold a lot of psychological reversals where they get in their own way. They sabotage the relationship. I'm settling for the life I thought I wanted, but it's empty without you. I still fantasize about you. So, like I said, they are uncomfortable. They want to come back. And I just see that. It's like they're in this place of realizing what they had, what the differences between you and them are, and again, what not just you and them are, but also the commonalities that you have, but also the difference between you and all those people that they dated. And the fact that you are deeper. See, they're terrified of it, but it also intrigues them. You're always in my heart, even though I'm not in touch. I observe you from a distance. So right now, it looks like they're just kind of like stalking it out and trying to get up the courage to come back. Realizing the depth of the connection, really thinking about it, which is something that doesn't normally happen with this person. I love spending time with you, enjoying each other, and the simple and cozy pleasures of life. They miss the little connections that you had. This person didn't give much, but whatever. And do you really probably don't even feel like you gave much because this person was in and out of your life and not even really spending time. Could have just been texting or talking on the phone. But what you brought to the table was authentic friendship, and they miss that. They miss the simple things. Again, the depth of the relationship. They miss it. So they're kind of marinating in that right now. I want to know, like, what are their deep true feelings? Because it looks like they're not doing anything right now. They just they're afraid. So but they are thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and just in a place of healing right now. That's really what I'm getting out of this, that they're realizing the depth of the connection. They're realizing that they fucked up the relationship, that their life is fucked up. So they're in the dark night of the soul. They're realizing that they didn't react positive with you, that they shouldn't have. The depth of the relationship scares them. Um, they're not doing anything yet about it. They waited. They know that they're going to come back. They don't know when. They want to come back. They want to talk to you. But again, there's a lot of fear there. There's a lot of questions, and mainly not because of you, but because is this really what they want? They're trying to figure it out. Imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities. This is what they need to do. They need to, again, stop looking at their life, again, like judging the relationship based on what they've already lived or what experiences were around. If they have feelings, they have to, again, give it a go. Because that's really, secret admirers. Which I knew this. A secret admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. And that's what I'm telling you, that they're not showing it and they're keeping it silent. They're trying to figure out what they want. There's a lot of self-observation. They're also looking at you, seeing how they treated you, seeing also that time is a ticking, that they're getting nervous, you're not coming back. They thought by now that you would. So they're not doing anything except for obsessing about everything, but they know that they love you and care about you. Can we get one last advice on how to deal with this? Because it's like, okay, but they're not planning on doing anything about it. Excuse me. My husband, he needs his medication. Faith. I am confident I will achieve my goals. I live in the present and have faith in the future. I firmly believe in my values within the universe. So really, what Spirit says for you, Virgo, is to have faith. Have faith, but mainly hold that faith in yourself. See, unconditional love, you can't break it. This person is soulmate. Again, past life connection. They can't break it. They want to break it. Instead, they hide in the shadows. They marinate a lot on the situation. They're almost thinking about it so much that they're frozen. Like it's so much thought, too much thought creates like a frozen where they don't do anything. And that's really what it is now. What I believe is that they're going to get so uncomfortable that they're going to, again, do something about it. But really, it's not saying what they're going to do. And even if let me pull from one other deck to see what they're going to do, because right now they're not doing anything except for hiding in the back and marinating on it and thinking about it and healing and in that space, not telling anyone, kind of waiting for you, but not waiting thinking that you will, but hoping that you will. At this point they know that you're not, but in the beginning they thought that you would. And so that adds another layer of why they are so afraid to contact you, because their ego also is like, I'm not going to come back. I'm going to wait. And they know that you're going to say something about the time. I miss you. And it says that all over. So it's like, again, what I'm really feeling is that they're going to get so uncomfortable that they're going to contact you. But as far as right now, it's a lot of healing. It's a lot of self observation. It's a lot of missing. It's a lot of seeing how they treated you, seeing the depth of the connection. There was someone interfering in our connection in the past. So again, I believe that there was a lot of people interfering because they were running around. So it's not saying they're still, and so that's another fear too. They know that you know that they didn't give you what you deserve because they were talking to other people. So they're afraid to come near you, but they missed you. And so they sit there in the back watching you, hoping that you're going to come back. They're seeing that you're not. There's a lot of anxiety there. They have no idea what you feel, whether you would take them back or not. And as far as right now, I'm going to just pull one card to see what your feeling is. Let me shuffle. I was just going to pull from the middle, but I was like, no, let me actually do it right. Even though it's running over, we're going almost an hour. Just one on how you feel. I left when I saw you with someone else. It's like you left because it's like you were like, I'm not going to stick around. Like you're like talking to a bunch of other people, and I'm like done. So as far as right now, unless that your person comes to you and talks to you, you're done. And I'm going to leave it there. Now, if you resonate with this, let me know. I'm sorry that it couldn't be that they got the courage up to come back, but I'm not in charge of the cards that come out. I kept trying, and it kept saying, nope, this person is too afraid. They're not doing anything right now. They're just terrified to do it, but they're thinking and they're thinking and they're thinking and they're thinking, and they're actually in healing mode because, again, they're in the dark night of the soul. So it's too soon to tell whether they're going to get back in time for you, but they know that they're coming back. In my heart, I feel that intuitively. I feel that it's just it's going to take a little bit more time. They're going to have to really get uncomfortable. So let's ask one question. What can you do to deal with this situation? Because if you like them, if you don't like them, you can hang up like this video, like shut this video off because you don't care. But if you care, how are you supposed to deal with this? I mean, this person's slow as shit. They caused a lot of problems. They should have asked to, again, come to you for forgiveness. They should have fixed it. They didn't. They waited for you to come back to talk to them. Their pride, their ego. Their pride, their ego. Once again, let's just pull one. Balance. Two stuck to here. These things feel so thick. Okay, balance. There was two. So maybe I'll take two just for the heck of it. Balance. I find balance between each sphere of my life. I am the master of my daily life. I make time to nourish the spirit and the physical. I bring love to my world by fulfilling the needs of my body and soul. So it's about taking care of yourself, not again waiting for this person to give you love, and then positive thinking. My life is full of small patches of light that direct my thoughts to that which brings me well-being. So it's again being around people and situations that are going to feed you, that are going to help you stay positive, to place what is weighty for you into your hands of the universe. Little by little, the light awakens in your being, and you feel serenity. So again, positive thinking, that you're again just like giving it over to the universe, and knowing regardless of what happens in this situation, because this person's so flaky and back and forth, And I hate to again put it like that, but it's again, they have feelings, but they're so slow. They're thinking about it, then their ego gets in the way. So this is their healing process. And it's long and it's slow. And it would be really infuriating, especially if you were in love with this person hurt you. So the way is to really like to find balance in your life by not thinking about this person, by again removing yourself. And it's both things say the same thing pretty much. Balance your thoughts by being around positive people, things that are going to fill you, things that are going to make you feel good. And maybe that's why this person's come into your life, so that you would give yourself the love. Maybe spirit didn't feel as if you were um, giving yourself enough love. Maybe spirit thought that you were settling for too little. And really, this is what that person kind of showed you. And that's why they treated you the same way. They expected that you were like everyone else. They were going to give you a little bit, that you were going to be right there. They played games. They realized now that's not the case. And now they're going to have to really fix it if they want it, but they're stuck in a place of, I want to fix it, but I don't want to have to do the work. And, or is there an easier way, which is really irritating, but they're not done with their healing process. So you can't force this. So what it means is you need to be busy. You need to be busy so you don't think about it. I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.